So I ended up playing over a long time, so you end up accumulating them over the years. But it started off with the likes of Scott Murray, the really good line-out operators, which you had to do whatever you could to win line-out ball against him. He just seemed to be everywhere. And he was a great competitor, great athlete. And then he moved on to the likes of Backy's Botha, which was opposite. He was still a very good line-out operator, but then he was just a tough bloke, and he loved the cheap shot, and but he would accept it as well. You give it back to him, and he'd get up and in his Dutch voice and come back and give you another one. So it was one game that you play against the Africans, and especially him. You're in for a torrid time.
Well, probably the scariest of any of the Tuilagi brothers I've played against over the years. Always giving about 5 or 6 stone away there, unfortunately, but. One of the toughest players I played against is probably either Brian Habana or Jason Robinson. Always because, they were so busy in attack. Always had to keep your eye on them. Always knew that you were in a game against these guys, and were some of the best players to have donned the shirt.
I think the 2 players for me who I found very difficult to play against in my era. Very lucky to play against them, and unlucky really, was Richie McCaw and George Smith. I think, for an open side or just a player really, of any position. Just what those guys have achieved in the game and how special they are as players and people. It was a privilege to play against them first and foremost, but caused me many a sleepless night. I've got to admit, leading up to the Test matches. So without doubt, Richie McCaw, George Smith, 2 of the greatest players there's ever been.
There were lots of them, but most probably the 2 hardest players I ever played against was Jerry Collins of New Zealand and Saltberger, South Africa, number 6. Just you could hit them as hard as you could, and they still got up every time.